So my first impression of Gaziantep, well, what a surprise. I really didn't expect it to be like this, and it sort of reminds me of Istanbul. Gaziantep, or Antep as it is still known even though it changed its name almost 100 years ago, is a modern cosmopolitan city, and because of its strategic position on the Silk Road, it's been a major trading centre since ancient times and is now one of Turkey's most important manufacturing areas. It's renowned for the huge production of machine carpets, shoes, soap, and the agricultural harvesting of 60,000 metric tons every year of Antep fıstığı, or what we call pistachio nuts. It's also a huge cotton and olive producing area. Because of the trade here, there are dozens of high-class hotels and several large shopping centres with many well-known high street shops. And in recent years, the old town and the castle area have been a big attraction for tourists. Gaziantep Castle dates back to the Hittites and then was taken over by the Romans. It's been renovated many times over the centuries and now houses a small military museum. This area of the old town has a lovely atmosphere with character shops and locantas serving many traditional dishes of the area. There's also a few small but interesting museums. And we came across this one, the Glass Museum. Apart from its interesting collection of ancient glassware and other artifacts, it also had a very quirky courtyard. And nearby we found a comical guy selling tea in the street. And when we got over to the park, we found a guy selling coffee. Bu makine ne diyorsunuz?
Bu meleğin şahısı. Cezve.
Tamam, yeter o kadar içmem ben. He says this is made with fındıklı mı bu? Fıstıklı. It's fıstık and coffee together and some sugar. So it's quite unusual, I think. Okay. Yeah, it don't taste like coffee though. Teşekkürler. İsminiz neydi?
Mehmet.
Mehmet.
Mehmet Yılmaz.
Ben Mick amca.
Evet, memnun oldum.
Ben de. Not your favourite? And not far from the park we found a great place for lunch.
So this is Türkçe lahmacun.
That was well read off the sign.
Yeah, but it's delicious. Really is lovely. Washed down with a bit of ayran. What more could you want for lunch? Lovely.
Got a bit of heat to it, does it?
Lovely.
It's more like a kıymalı pide, but very nice. And this little place was packed, and they were making them like it was on a production line. There's a very special museum a few miles out of the centre, but we weren't sure how to get there. There's lots of buses and they're very confusing where they're going. So we've decided to press the button and get a taxi, and somebody's told us it'll work out the same price anyway. Red lights on. Okay. On there. In fact, it was a 15-minute ride, and it only cost us £2. Welcome to the magnificent museum of Zeugma. How much is it, lovey?
48.
For 2 people, 48 lira?
Yeah.
Wow, bargain. So all this actually comes from the ancient ruins of Zeugma, which is about 30 miles away. The reason they took all of this out is because the whole area was flooded because of a new dam, a hydroelectric power dam. The area now, which is near Halfeti, is actually become a tourist destination because you can still see some of the ruins underneath the water. So this is one of the most famous mosaics which has been dug out, and it's interesting to see how they dig these things out, because this is normally on the floor, of course. This is actually a floor panel, you know, people walked on this, and the way they've got them up is actually incredible. They put big drills all the way down about that thickness below the surface of the picture. And they drilled great big long drills all the way through, all the way up, and then they put steel pieces in and they drive them in, and eventually it cracks away, and they fix a big plate on the front to stop it from moving, and then lift it up with a crane. It's amazing, really. Amazing. And it takes days to do one. One thing I do like about this museum is you can actually touch the mosaics. The stones are beautifully smooth with all the years of being walked on.
What you can see behind me is the remains from a dining room floor from the house of Menad. The rest of the mosaic was actually stolen, but one of the small pieces above is called the Gypsy mosaic, and she has been placed in a room all to herself behind this wall, which is quite impressive.
When I look at the room and the mosaic as one big piece, I actually get quite emotional. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and they're not just people who can do mosaics, these were really talented artists. After seeing all these beautiful artifacts and mosaics, it inspired us to visit the original site and see where they'd all come from. Can I tell you something?
Is that not our car?
No, that's not our car. Our car's behind the bus up there, look. To the original archaeological site of Zeugma, it's about an hour's drive from Gaziantep. And when we got there, we were directed to this large building. So look at this, it's amazing, isn't it? I really didn't expect this. And after being to the museum, you feel that, oh, everything's been taken away, but it's not, because there's a lot of the mosaics and rooms that, like these, which have actually survived. Yeah, it's well worth a visit. Many other towns and ruins went under the lake when it was formed, but the most famous is Halfeti, known for its rare wildlife, its perfumes and its famous karagül or black roses, which also became the name of a soap opera on Turkish TV years ago. Because of its popularity, Halfeti has recovered from its drowning and has become a major tourist destination. So here we are on our boat trip from Halfeti down the lake, which has been formed by the dam obviously years ago, and we're really lucky because the weather is beautiful weather, and it's 15th of October now and we're still in, well, I'm still in shorts and t-shirt, and it's lovely. This is by far the most popular boat trip going out of Halfeti, and it goes to Savaşanköy, which was also partly submerged when the lake was formed. En route, it goes past an ancient ruin called Rumkale, which in Turkish means Greek-Roman castle. Apparently the ruins of Rumkale are also accessible by road. The part of Halfeti that survived the reservoir flooding is actually an interesting place on its own, with a few restaurants and cafes and a few places to stay. And it's a great place to meet other travellers and chat with the locals. Maraş ne kadar?
2.
Bir Maraş alayım o zaman.
Ya Maraş al tabii ya.
Sizin hayat nasıl değişti?
Bizim hayat değişmedi. Biz hayata devam ediyoruz. Sadece evler, bahçeler gitti.
Ha, ama yukarı çıktınız.
Evler gitti, bahçeler gitti, evet.
Bahçede ne vardı?
Bahçede erik vardı, kayısı vardı.
Burada yok mu böyle şeyleri?
Nar vardı.
Burada aynı şey yapabilirsiniz değil mi?
Neresi? Nereye? Buraya yola mı dikeyim? Nereye dikeceğim? Arazi gitti, arazi.
Ha, kaybettiniz arazini.
Tabii araziyi kaybettik.
Ya. Karagül.
Karagül, evet.
Bu kadar yetiyor mu? Yeter değil mi?
Ya bu çingene parası, bu nereden topladın sen ya?
Çingene parası. Teşekkür ediyorum ya. We've been in Gaziantep for a few days now, and one thing we've noticed is you can eat out at all these lovely locantas, but none of them serve alcohol. If you want alcohol, you have to go to a little corner shop or eat in the restaurant of your hotel. You'll find a lot of the lovely food in the old town area. It's quite spicy traditional meat kebabs, which is served with mezes, fresh salad and bulgur, but not rice. You can't beat eating Antep salatasa in Antep, or Gaziantep. So we've realised why we're in Gaziantep that most of the food is the same in every locanta. Do you know, in a city of nearly 2 million people, I can't believe there's not a Chinese restaurant or an Indian restaurant, and there's probably not an Italian restaurant either. So we decided to try out the metro system and investigate the restaurants in another part of the city. Put it on. Has it gone green? No, it's not working. Ah, it's worked, okay. You can get off anywhere and change, and when you come out you've only paid 2.5 lira. Tamam. So en route, we thought we'd go to the botanical gardens. So this is the botanical gardens, which shuts at 6 o'clock. Oh well, next time. Going to a restaurant tonight called Boğazköy, which is, we found it on Tripadvisor, it's one of the high rated ones. And it's in a place called Şahin Bey, which is a different district of Gaziantep, nowhere near the castle. It's actually 5 miles away from the castle, and this area is full of young people because of the university, and lots of people speak English here as well because of that. The young people want to learn their English.
We're at this restaurant where we've been given a menu on a tablet, which is great. I'm already looking at the desserts. And they do no alcohol beer.
Hey. The food here was so good. We went back the next night. So I had a pizza and Trudie had salmon on noodles, which is eaten already, so I can't film it. But my pizza, strangely enough, is walnuts. It's got tomatoes, peppers, olives, and pineapple in it. Absolutely amazing. On their menu they had mixed cuisines from all over the world and their own dishes. And their signature dessert, which is made from different nuts, is amazing.
Wow. This has got to be one of the nicest desserts I've had. It's absolutely delicious.
I got all excited because I thought they served FS across the road over there, but they don't. It's just the name of the restaurant.
I don't feel at all intimidated or bothered as a Western blonde woman wandering around. Everybody seems just so lovely, friendly and courteous. Maybe has that got something to do with the fact that nobody drinks alcohol? I don't know. But I can honestly say that I absolutely love this city and I'm sure we'll be back.
Unfortunately, in a few days you can't see everything in a city, but we'll definitely be back to this city. It's really made an impression on us. In part 5 of our series, we visit the mountain ruins of Nemrut. If you want to see the next film in our series, and future films of course, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, or follow us on Facebook on Mick and there's also a lot of information in the description below, that lots of things that you might find interesting if you're travelling in this region. Thanks for watching.